Welcome, everyone, to Blood and Iron, Dead Man's Hand. Last we had left off, our coterie of four, Aaron, Alexandra, Shriek, and Dorian, had some things that they were doing individually and kind of paired off a little bit. Dorian and Aaron went to run some errands and are going to be checking in on a apartment that Dorian has been financing the construction for. An apartment building kind of in a bit of a standalone sort of presence, but has been pumping money into it to get it built as quickly as possible to house those who might not otherwise have housing in this domain, namely the Thin Bloods, the sort of riffraff of this domain. They seem to be coming out of nowhere, spawning like rats, coming out the crevices and trying to assert themselves. Shriek, in the meantime, had gone to visit Madame, who was recovering at his sire's shack. The lonely little place just outside the city limits that, well, for the betterment of all involved, should Miss Morn suffers from the same condition of the blood that Shriek does, in that insects infest everything. There's no way to get rid of the vermin, and despite how pleasing or normal they might look on the exterior, those little pests, you linger anywhere for too long, and the whole place starts crumbling around you slowly but surely, which is likely to happen to this shack at some point, but somehow it has survived a test of time. Leaving Alexandra to peruse through the books and journals and entries and papers that were left behind by Aaron's family. A collection of the knowledge of the Winters family and their business in monster hunting. And so, we're going to pick up where we left off with Aaron and Dorian first. On their way to the new apartment that has been undergoing construction, are you driving separately or together?
Probably separately.
Okay.
Because,
Aaron's got his truck.
Preferably, I don't. Mr. Resner's got some nice looking vehicles there. I don't want to cause any problems with them.
Yes, as technology seems to dislike you just as much as Shriek walking into a room can cause a bug infestation. Almost a common ground, if it wasn't for the fact that it's two different things. So, Aaron is driving his truck, and Mr. Resner, what vehicle are you bringing? You have multiple.
oh, he would just be in his basic Audi that he has.
Basic Audi.
Or, is it Audi the 4? Yeah, I believe it is an Audi.
The four rigs, yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the high-end models that he has. I forget what it's called, but it's a very nice car.
And what color is it?
Oh, it would be black.
Black.
With tinted windows. Because he doesn't want to give too much away and stand out in case of, being seen.
Of course. Alright, so the two of you are driving up separately, parking where it is that you're going to park, and will meet up nearby to this apartment building. It's not that there are multiple buildings being constructed in this space, it's a single building. So one might even call it a condo. It depends on your definition of both. But a single building with what looks like to be interior entrances where you enter in through a hallway and then get to your appropriate door. It's looking rather nice, if a little half done, but it looks like it is progressing pretty rapidly. There are still lights out, and construction crews are working round the clock to make this dream of yours happen, Mr. Resner. So, there are, fences around the place to keep out those who would otherwise be injured in the possibility of walking upon this particular portion. So, what do you do?
Well, first I would walk up and be looking around, but I would probably take a tour of the place just to see how everything's going before I go and look for those that we came to see.
Okay.
I'll accompany him. A little bit of small talk that I need to make while we're here. Mr. Resner,
Yes.
just to make sure I understand what it is you need from me.
I need you there in case things go wrong. I want to talk to them and impress upon them the fact that this is not theirs. I'm building this for those who are in need. They do not own it.
Understood. When you say in need, you're talking about people or
Both. This is going to bring in some of both, I think. This is for some of them. We're away from people, right?
Well, you you were being given a tour by the foreman on shift right now, who has equipped you both with hard hats, and it had been kind of touring the place for a little while, probably about 30 minutes before you're left alone to speak amongst yourselves.
Okay. Some of the kindred, the less fortunate, like thin bloods and stuff, are going to be moving in here. But I also plan to have some of the kind, move in as well.
I mean, it makes sense to have people moving in. There's a lot of different kind of benefits you can garner from that, being what we are. But for the other types, something that's been kind of dragging on my mind here is maybe it's a bit too much to be asking you, considering my place in all this. Do you know what kind of things you're going to be calling for rent?
I would have those figures, and it would be mostly probably subsidized. It wouldn't be expensive. The point is affordable housing.
He starts rattling off numbers to you, Aaron.
No. You're misunderstanding. I'm not talking about monies. Money can come from anywhere, I imagine. Someone such as you is so,
You mean...
endowed.
I'm
talking about things that are currency otherwise. You ever thought much about that?
I was thinking about using this as an information network. Those that live here, if they learn of anything, they inform me. That way we always have an ear to the street.
Alright.
I don't think that's too much of a boon to have a place to stay.
How often you gonna call for rent?
Whenever they hear anything. It's an
That doesn't
open
give
line.
a. It doesn't put any sort of pressing on them.
Hmm.
Can I make a suggestion?
Please, by all means.
Money rent is due once a month.
Yes.
Not money rent. Should also be due on a regular basis. Because otherwise, they're just gonna be slacking. Ain't gonna earn their keep. You're gonna come by and they're gonna have nothing for you. Now, reason I suggest this is, truth, it does give me something to do. You want me here to make sure things don't go awry, I can continue doing that. I can collect. Be that enforcement, or be the eviction notice should you happen to need that either.
That would be grateful. I'm sure that I can come up with something that you would need to help pay for that. I think that will work out quite nicely.
So what's the time frame?
This should be finished within a week.
A week. First month's rent due per week, per month, per year? How often you want that kind of information?
Well, can I make a roll to see, like, I would know etiquette and stuff, like, how often I should be calling for something like that?
This is Aaron trying to figure out how often do I need to come back here and bully people and tell
Oh, yeah.
them to pay.
Yeah, absolutely. Make me a intelligence etiquette, Dorian.
Okay.
Being relatively new to the embrace yourself, you might not be aware of it. Are you satisfied with 2?
No, I want this to go smoothly. I'm going to re-roll those 2 dice. Nope,
Okay.
I'm satisfied with 2.
On a 2, you would know that it is that it's not uncommon for tributes to be paid to those who run the domains, for individuals to make contributions to their primogen, and primogen to therefore then make contributions to the prince. It was true of the Ventru and the Ventru primogen. You don't know what was exchanged exactly, but you know that there was a tribute made relatively recently. And with the domain of Arlington, though, you're not sure when the last time that anyone paid tribute to the prince was. Much less paid tribute to the primogen who have been here. Whether it was to Brocado, whether it was to Dead Man's Hand, or whether it's to the new primogen, Dr. Keller. But it's not unheard of for dues to be paid. But typically done in that order.
Okay, but no thing on how often?
That is on an individual basis, usually. From what you know, the Ventru primogen collects her dues more or less without you necessarily knowing that much, because your sire would be the one to pay tribute to her.
Yeah.
But how often he did so, that seemed to have been a business deal between the two of them, and you weren't in on it.
Well, let's start it off. Every month, they see what they can turn up or do something for the area every month so that they're working towards something.
All right. Every month. First of the month work for you?
That works.
First of the month. I'll keep it on my calendar.
I would like both of you to make a wits and awareness.
Oh, I love that.
Because I imagine you're keeping your eye out for whomever you think that you're looking for.
Yep.
Here's a question. Does stalkers as a specialty factor into this?
How does your stalkers normally normally work?
So it's a specialty, and essentially Aaron is particularly aware of either people stalking him or him stalking others.
This would not apply.
This is not a stalker. This is just someone lurking.
You don't know what I'm calling for. It does not, but stalkers, as far as your specialties, does not apply.
Okay.
3.
Okay.
It's a 2.
Aaron, nothing looks particularly out of the ordinary.
It's a building.
It's a building, and there are people who are going in and out and performing jobs the entire time that you're here. You definitely hear the sound of tools, you hear the sound of talking, you hear the sounds of shouting orders, you hear machines of all kinds. And Dorian, you hear a lot of the same, but there is something that you do notice. That there is a particular worker amongst them that has occasionally looked in your direction from time to time. Not that they're trying to draw any attention, but they're definitely keeping an eye on you.
Do I recognize this person?
Probably not. You've never met these people before.
Okay.
In fact, you've never met any of the Thin Bloods or the Caitiff in this area either, so...
Well, I didn't know if I might have gotten descriptions or something from anybody, so...
I don't know that you have a description of what these people... what the Thin Bloods...
Wait, we know we're looking for a Blaine.
Yeah.
You're looking for a Blaine.
I was trying to fish for a politics role, but that's... I guess I'd go up and talk to this person.
Just watch Mr. Resner walk off there. All right, well, I'll just be here, right behind him.
I would. I'd be like, he's been eyeing us. I'm going to go see what's up.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you head over in that direction. You see that there is a young man who, under the hard hat, you do see that he does have he's got his hair kind of shaved really low. He's got tunnels in his ears. He's got a nice beard. He's got a couple of tattoos across his face, but otherwise, there's nothing particularly remarkable about him. But he's just seems to be working some of the tools to get some of the ground floor sort of finishing touches done.
Okay. I'll just walk up. Good evening.
Step back, please. I don't want you getting hurt.
Oh, I'm sure that we can talk for a moment.
He stops the tool and puts the tool down. About what?
I noticed you were watching me.
Well, it's not every night we get a suit walking by, so yeah, you kind of stand out.
Yes, I'm Dorian Resner. What's your name?
Dorian Resner.
Yes.
Okay. You can just call me B.
B. That's an interesting name. I'd like to get a read on him right now, if I can.
Wits and insight. He seems to have tensed up just a little bit.
Okay, Now, B, what does that stand for?
Look, is there some way that I can help you? I really need to get back to work.
You can help me by answering my questions.
Make a charisma persuasion.
Five.
That is a nice number. It stands for Blaine.
Ah, Blaine. Would you happen to be Mr. Blaine Ellis?
Yes. Who's asking? Besides Dorian Resner.
Oh, you are one of the people that we came to see tonight.
Look, I gotta get back to work or the boss is gonna get on my ass.
The boss won't get in on your ass. I own this building. If I want to talk to you, I'm sure that he'll understand.
He looks back at Aaron and then looks back at you. What do you
I'd
want?
like to talk to you and your friends that have laid claim to this place.
Look, man, what do you want?
As I said, to talk. To you and your friends.
Because I know a shakedown when I see one.
Am I being mean? Am I trying to get something out of you right now?
You don't have to, and I know that you're going to.
You don't know any way of how I work.
It's the way this whole domain works, my dig. So yeah, sure, we can talk.
Lead me to them. And I'll holler over to the foreman. I'm borrowing this one for a minute. I have some questions.
They're not here.
Okay, then let us go somewhere private to talk for a moment.
He just kind of folds his arms and starts ushering for you to lead on.
Okay, and I'll take him to like a quiet part of the job site.
Wonderful. Aaron is going to stand behind Blaine. Menacingly.
Great. You kind of pick out a sort of quieter place, kind of kind of off the site just a little bit, and kind of outside the fenced area, just so that you can have, be able to speak at a comfortable level.
So, Mr. Ellis, I've been informed that you've claimed this as yours.
For as much as anyone can claim anything in this place. Not that I significantly have any kind of say, because of guys like you.
I think you're under the misapprehension of something. This place isn't to be claimed. This place is to help out the domain. It's not just yours to take. If you want to move in here, then you are welcome, along with the others that need it. But I won't have someone take a claim over it and keep them out.
Is it all claimed by the prince, anyway?
We all live in his domain, yes. But I do not want something that I am building to help out those in need to be choked off.
I wasn't planning on choking anything off.
Well, that's good. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
And I just want to make sure that this place gets built as quickly as you're wanting, because that's the timeline it's on. Thanks a bunch. And that, when people like my friends move in, that we're not fucking kicked to the curb like every other goddamn place.
Aaron exchanges a glance to Resner.
We're going to try to make sure that that doesn't happen.
How?
I'd like to introduce someone. This is Mr. Aaron Winters. He helps look over my affairs.
Do your affairs also include staving off, that Cynthia brat?
What I'm trying to do is make sure that we don't draw her attention or anybody else's. I'm working to bring in more housing and food and make this domain better.
Good luck.
Thank you. But in order to do that, I need to be working with the people of it.
You're going to find that every time you start to set something up, that somebody's going to rip it down. This is going to get ripped down. I know it for a fact. It's happened time and time again in this goddamn place. Anywhere we settle gets ripped apart.
I think Mr. Winters would have a problem with that. Mr. Winters, would you have anything to add?
Well, what I do have to add is, I just find it rather a little bit disrespectful with your tone, Mr. Ellis. You're gonna look at a fella like Mr. Resner, who comes from a prestigious line of his clan. You're gonna sit there and tell him he ain't capable of holding up his own. This man who not only has already provided you work and income and resources to support yourself, but has also presented an opportunity for little fellers like yourself to actually have a house. Roof over your head, protection by another.
That's easy for you to say. You all have clans to go back to. We don't.
Then rely on someone who does have a clan to fall back on.
Why do you think I'm setting all of this up? I'm trying to give you guys bulwark that you can get behind.
Look, I understand that you're trying to
If
be
you-
some kind of altruist.
Not just an altruist, because I will be getting things from this. It is not fully just for the goodness.
Yeah, great.
The rent that's going to be due would be either information or some way of making the domain better. I want everybody working.
How are we going to do that when 75% of our nights are just to try and feed ourselves?
Again, I'm working on that too. It's not something that has to be done daily or weekly, but it is due. And I don't think that's a bad price to pay for everybody working together. I'm investing a lot up front. And I need information and people looking out for this domain to help me. No one else is going to help us unless we help ourselves.
Yeah, no. We thought it was hard under Brucato. No, the Keller guy is going to just make things worse. Because he's going to have his due, right?
Well, certainly. And Aaron's gonna put his hands on Blaine's shoulders and just start massaging them.
Get off me.
The point being is that if you want to stake any kind of claim here, if you want to get all cozy up in these here apartments, you get all kinds of benefits. You get food, you get shelter, you get money. And all you gotta do is just keep flapping that mouth of yours that ain't shut up since we got here. It's a pretty easy deal, if I do say so myself. And everything else about them big shots, Primogen, Scourge, etc. Part of the deal is that Mr. Resner gets to be your big old adventure shield on that. You get to spend all your nights comfy.
I think it's coffee.
Are you getting a better offer from someone else?
No. But when the day comes, when Cain or the Scourge comes walking down here and destroys all of us, and you got nothing left because you got too big for your pants, don't tell me. Don't come crying to me with an "I told you so."
Like I said, we're trying to keep them from ever coming here.
You're gonna get noticed by even building this place, my guy. So, be on the lookout.
Mr. Ellis, the warning is appreciated. You best be watching your mouth. Be respectful.
Look, we're equals in this. We're all
I'm gonna
in this shithole.
Nope. We're playing this game. We're playing this game.
Okay. What you do?
I'm gonna go ahead and use Shadow Cloak, which gives me +2 to intimidation.
Okay.
And I'm gonna turn Blaine around with his strength. Have him look me in the eye, and he's just gonna say, you shut the hell up and be respectful.
Okay, roll me a charisma and intimidation.
Yep. And I'd like to willpower on that. Why? Why do my dice forsake me?
Okay,
Why do my dice forsake me?
so that's 3. Let me... What the hell?
All the while, the shadows in this little alley just grow deeper and deeper and deeper until they just kind of feel like they're in this void.
Look, man, I'm just telling you like it is.
You're making a wild assumption. Thinking someone like Mr. Resner don't already know how it is.
When you're rolling up in an Armani suit and an Audi, yeah, I don't think he knows anything about how it's like.
The jealousy gonna be the death of you, boy.
Perception. That's all this is. So you think that I think I'm better than you right now. I just have more means. There's a reason I'm here as well.
Like I said, we're all equals.
Now, are we of the same mind of the matters that I came here for?
Like I said, no claim has been made.
Good. And I'm going to hand them my card. Be sure this gets around to all your friends. If you guys see anything, notice anything, keep me informed. And I'll do what I can to stave off whatever's coming.
Yeah, whatever. Can I get back to work now?
Do a good job. You're
I'm
probably
gonna
going
get
to be
docked
staying
pay.
here. If they do that, I'll fire your supervisor.
You do that, you're gonna get noticed.
I'll make sure of it. I'm going to walk him back to his station. I'm going to go over and talk to the supervisor and say he was most helpful with my questions. Make sure he doesn't see any docked pay or anything. He definitely is worth the money.
His personal time is his personal time. Company time is company time.
Yep. And is he insinuating that he's still going to dock him pay?
He was going to insinuate that that was personal time.
Okay. As long as he's not going to dock him pay.
Wits insight.
That's like 6 or 7.
So when he says personal time, it means it's unpaid.
I don't think I was clear. I said it was time well spent.
And last I checked, I'm running this.
Last I checked, I'm paying your salary and own all this.
Alright, whatever.
Thank you. The place looks good. Keep up the good work.
Working
And
us
I'm
to hell
gonna...
and back.
And then I'll go meet back up with Aaron.
All
Thank
right.
you, Mr. Winters. I do owe you.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say you'd owe me yet. We'll see how he takes to that.
I
Come
kind of
by in a
admire
week
the
and...
spunk.
Hmm?
I kind of admire the spunk. At least it hasn't let him beat it down, or let it beat him down.
True enough.
But I suppose we should go and see what everybody else is up to tonight. Unless you had other plans.
Yeah. I do gotta split off for now. Got a quick errand to run, but when I'm done with that, if we have any other time in the night, where should I be meeting the rest of yous?
Well, I'll send a text to them, and if nothing else, we'll meet at the usual place.
Gazebo.
Yeah.
Gazebo, got it. Alright.
And
You
I'll
have
shake
yourself a...
Mr. Winter's hand.
Oh, he shakes
Thank you
back.
again.
Aaron's happy. He's like, you have a good night, Mr. Winters. Or, Mr. Resner. Wee! Wee! I know what's going on. I'm not smooth
Good
brain.
luck with that, whatever you're getting into. And he'll turn and go and hop into his car. And he'll send a text off to the other two to see if they have any need for him.
All right. Is there any need between Alex and Shriek for Mr. Resnor's assistance?
Well, why not? He ended up getting me a car after all. Might as well end up responding to it.
It is a very beautiful car.
I'm just glad that most of the things that crawl die in the upholstery and are easy to sweep out.
It's the little things.
Yes, like that centipede.
All right. Well, that leaves us with Aaron. Aaron, what are you up to? Where are you going?
I gotta get a ball rolling on a certain due that I owe. I'm gonna go visit Vince and Pearl. Just, the Vince, I gotta make sure that, I start figuring out the little tidbits of a certain favor that I happen to owe him, and then with Pearl, I just want to talk to her for a moment, see how things are going.
All right. Vincent Roderick can be found in the warehouse district of the area of Dallas, for the most part. He does a lot of mundane shipping in and out. Various companies rent his warehouses to be able to store product and move it, and he makes a good deal of money. As far as anything else that might be shipped through this particular warehouse, well, that remains to be seen. As since the kindred are also dealing in things that may be of a illicit manner, you do suspect that there's some of that going on as part of it. But for the most part, on the outside, it is very much just a block of warehouses for storing product and shipping things through. And it looks like he's going through one of the warehouses with a client who is doing an inventory of the the different crates and shipping containers that are in this particular warehouse at the moment. And Pearl is following closely behind, taking notes vigorously.
Seems like a busy night. I say, he says, kind of like scuffing in his boots, walking in.
Ah, Aaron, Vincent says, and he turns to the client and says, "Be back in a moment. Pearl will stay here and be able to help you with the various things that you need for the time being." And the client nods, kind of going back to their own clipboard, and Pearl is doing her best to help in doing, counts and things like that for this particular client. And Vincent pulls you aside and leads you towards the office in this warehouse, where he does most of his own work when it comes to this place. It's very rare that you come by.
Yeah, I try not to make a habit given my special conditions, but I did have something pertinent I needed to talk to you about.
Oh, well, have a seat. And he gestures towards the seat at the one side of the desk, and he sits on the other.
It's like a little folding, like one of those crappy metal folding chairs. Has a whole bunch of dents in it, and Aaron just sits down in it. He's like kind of like obviously uncomfy, but gets steady.
So what's
Well,
up, kid?
I guess I had a bit of a question about that whole shadowy bit we can do.
Mm-hmm.
I know we got the things that are rather innate to us. Some bits that you also mentioned at one point require a little more mentorship. When you first offered it, I wasn't super interested, but, well, and having some things going on back at the sweet neighborhood that's got me a little bit rambunctious.
Rambunctious.
wondering if-
Okay.
Yeah. I was wondering if the offer still teach me a bit more about that.
Well, that does beg the question, and I do have to ask because I am curious. What sparked the interests recently, then?
Magic.
Magic.
Yeah, some little hocus pocus shit. You know that old church?
The one that your father left to you?
Yeah. I guess there was something sort of seal or whatnot in the basement.
Mm.
Was able to crack it open and we got some interesting little documents pulled out of it. Whole bunch of little bits and details on what's it, magicians, something like that.
Magicians. Mages. Okay. Well,
was wondering
that's
if I-
got me curious.
Yeah, I figured it would.
So what do you need? What do you need a ceremony for?
Mostly to work out the kinks of it. Trying to understand what it is I'm looking at. You know, how do I put it? Shadows thing was, it's always a little complicated. You said it can drain on you a bit. Had me worried.
Just like anything to do with the shadows.
But as far as magic is, it's got me shifting in my seat thinking about it. I guess maybe part of it is also, well, the only way I was able to get through that seal there was got a lay friend that helped me out a bit. And,
Would that
Maybe
lady
they,
friend be your Tremere friend that's been kind of traipsing around that little neck of the woods out there?
yeah. Yeah,
I'm aware of her. She's ambitious.
she is. She knows quite a bit. This could say I'm kind of wanting to impress her.
Oh. I see. Okay. Well, you want to impress her. So you want to learn some kind of newfangled hocus pocus little dealio that you can then take to her and say, hey, look at me, I'm also a powerful sorcerer.
A little bit of that, a little bit of maybe if I showcase that I can do that, maybe she'd be more inclined to showcase a little bit more of what she can do on that.
Tremere don't share.
No, nah, but they are willing to cast some of them magic spells in exchange for a couple favors, so
In exchange for spells, for favors. I am going to have to decline. Trade secrets and all. I doubt that you're going to get trade secrets in return.
what makes you think I'm gonna be giving out those trade secrets? It's not that.
She's a Tremere, and you said you're trying to impress her. I know that you would probably do your best to resist. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that in the wrong hands, every kind of ceremony, every kind of ritual, every kind of piece of magic that you stumble across can be the death of you. So I think for my own particular safety, I'm going to have to decline for now.
What would inquire you to change your mind?
Maybe when you're older.
Now, come on now.
You are also an ambitious little man. You're also a former hunter. Don't think I don't know that your past still haunts you. And let's just say I need a return on my investment first. I've invested in you. I've given you the powers that you do have so far. And you've been very, very adept. Probably far more adept than I anticipated. So, maybe it's me curbing your ambition just a little bit. Maybe it's me being a reasonable and cautious sire, given the last one.
The last one.
Katya. Your broodmate slaughtered in front of the entire court.
That's right. That's right.
So I hesitate.
It's understandable. How about this? Figure out the returns on it. I'm there for you. Now, I can't say I'm most financially literate, but I understand quid pro quo.
Though you did pique my interest, saying that you have things that date back. How long has your family been in the business?
Still trying to figure that one out.
Well,
But if you're wanting the papers on them magician bullshit, I'd be more than happy to bring it to you.
anything that can help me against the Second Inquisition.
It can be done.
I know that you've come to your senses when it comes to hunting versus being a vampire. A kindred. But not all of your kind can have. And, well, every protection we can put for this city, the better.
Hey, you want to start your crusades with the church? I ain't stopping you. It's your war on God, not mine.
It's not a war on God that I'm planning. I'm protecting the Camarilla.
Now you're starting to sound like the one with unchecked ambition.
Touche. I at least know where mine's pointed. I need to know where yours is pointed.
The same. It's honestly pointed the same. Every action leads towards a goal. Every decision must be made punitively.
Now, if you come back with something far more substantial, then maybe I'll consider bumping up your training a little earlier. That's always on the table.
Right. I'm gonna hold you to that then.
I'm gonna hold you to it then, too. Find me something juicy. Then maybe we'll think about it.
You do that then. And Aaron, at that point, gets up out of the seat, puts out his hand for a typical handshake.
It's good seeing you. You look well.
Did he shake my hand or did he just?
Yeah, he's reaching
Okay.
out to you.
Okay, all right. I was like, did he just like completely ignore that? Like,
No.
wow.
No, sorry, I didn't.
What a relationship.
No, he reached out to you. He shook your hand.
It's good seeing you too, Vince. Surprisingly.
Why, surprisingly.
I'm just finding every time I see you, I hate you a little less.
That's progress. And you wonder why I'm hesitant.
Yeah, well,
Certainly don't need you attacking me in my sleep or something.
not my style. Not anymore, at least.
That remains to be seen.
Mind if I borrow Pearl for a moment?
She does have a lot to do tonight. Is it important?
It's just a quick chat.
Not too long. We have clients coming in.
Yeah, I see that. Y'all's busy as hell tonight. Yeah, no. I'm just saying hi and checking in on her. Making sure you ain't roughing her up too much. And he just casually gives a little fist to Vince's shoulder.
To be quite fair, she is mine to do with as I please.
And I ain't rebuking that. As a friend, I stand the right to make sure she ain't dead yet.
Well, brief. Please keep it brief.
Sir, yes, sir. Aaron goes back down to the floor, sees Pearl just working on some, probably has like a sprawl of papers in front of her as she's figuring out the logistics of inventory and whatnot, and then
And the client is long left by this point. She's just gathering up what notes that she's going to, and she you see that she is headed towards the office as you're leaving Vincent's office at the moment. Oh, hi.
howdy, Pearl.
Hello. How you doing, Aaron?
Oh, keeping on, keeping on.
Yeah, same.
Wanted to see how you were doing, if everything's keeping up all right. Staying steady on your end.
Yeah, everything's fine.
That's good to hear. Anything new going on in your world?
Oh, not really. The same old.
Same old.
Yeah, just
Me.
taking notes here, doing favors there, running around during the day and the night. It gets to be a little tiring. But it's good work.
Well, if there's any kind of legwork you got going on at tonight you want to pass on,
Oh no, no. No, I can handle it myself.
if you're sure.
Positive.
Alright. I know Vince can be a bit on the rough side. He will also be.
I wouldn't say that. He's very kind most of the time.
Most of the time.
Well,
If there's
when-
any time.
when he gets into boss mode,
Yeah. I hear you. Just, you ever need a human meat shield? Call me. Know how that works.
you're sweet. but I'm fine.
I trust you.
I really should get this report to him.
Didn't mean to keep you. You take care, Pearl. Good seeing you as always.
Good seeing you too. Maybe when there's a day off we can catch up or something. But I'm on the clock.
Happen to know a nice little bar, I'd be happy to take you out to. Just seek me out.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Erin waves. Heads on back out of the warehouse.
And she goes and disappears into Vincent's office.
If she wasn't on the clock, there would be other things that he would have wanted to ask her. Also, just a lot of things about logistics that he really can't consider at the moment. He's trying to think of how he can help Mr. Resner with his situation.
Kind of a what would Pearl do in this situation sort of a question, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Knowing Pearl as long as you have, you can possibly maybe piece something together. I'm gonna call for a roll then. Let's just see. Let's look at what rolls exist.
Like what? Like she's very good at figuring out how to bring people in, how to settle them down, how to get all of the financial logistics figured out, how to make the deal, like all of that stuff, the bureaucracy of it. She's great at. She always has been great at. And
that's why he keeps her around.
Precisely. She's the human element that Vince just doesn't have.
So is this more like financial logistics, or is this more like moving of goods? What are we talking about?
I guess it's more like the client relations aspect. Like
client relationship. Okay.
Yeah, he's looking at it. How would Resner realistically be able to bring people in a way that would be beneficial? How could he?
Since Pearl does a lot of that, you're kind of using Pearl as an example. Okay.
Because a lot of the people in this domain all seem to have the same kind of attitude as far as Aaron's been concerned. I mean, so he's been taking it the route of like, okay, well, they expect a bully, so I guess I'll just be the bully.
Make an intelligence and insight.
I love that. That's like 2 dice.
Well, that's the kind of things that you're recalling from memory, you know, given that that you've known Pearl for a while. And Pearl uses her insight to look into people. So 1 success.
Yeah.
How badly do you want to know? Do you want to succeed at a cost?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's more like it's just Aaron trying, more than anything in this moment, this is just like creating a scene, an element that Aaron is trying to formulate ways that he can help build up connections, that he can help.
Especially with difficult people.
Yeah, support whatever it is that this coterie is doing.
Okay.
He wants to have a plan.
Okay.
A very practical, utilitarian plan.
Okay.
And so he's just looking through all the different avenues that he can offer that.
Okay.
And so it's not so much something that needs a roll. It's just more about where his mental position is. Because right now everything is very nebulous, and he's like, "It's
true.
I don't like that."
He doesn't like that. So how would Pearl deal with a very nebulous situation like this, kind of recalling, situations in which she might have been in that sort of situation. And you kind of think about it for a moment. You know that, especially with people who might be a little bit more difficult to work with, she always keeps calm. That's the one thing that you know about her, for the most part, when it comes to her and the work that you have observed her doing for Vincent. Vincent is kind of as abrasive as you have learned some of the domain residents have been. He can be crass. He can be hard to work with. He can be just an outright monster when he wants to be, including, but not limited to, intimidation tactics. But Pearl has always been the calming factor. And she's been with him as long as you've been embraced. And she always knows exactly what to say to him to get him to calm down. She always knows exactly what to say to you when the two of you might be fighting. That's the element of Pearl that is always true. And that's true with her clients, because you've seen client meetings with her. You've seen her being sort of the secretary taking the notes on a minutes, like the minutes on a meeting, but she's always there to be a presence of calm.
Calm that she keeps to, just like much before, was just reflection of the fact. Regardless of what necessarily sort of emotional tension there might be, she keeps it business. Doesn't matter what your opinion is. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't have feelings.
Mm-hmm. Always very focused. Always very calm.
She's always been very good at numbers. She's always been very good at keeping her cool. Maybe... I don't know if that's necessarily something I'm fit for. I'm just there to be the shadow, so to speak.
But if you're anything like Vince, then maybe you need your own Pearl.
Someone will keep me steady on the track so I won't get distracted. Maybe someone who will keep all of us steady. I ain't too particular about ghouls. It's not really something I'm interested in doing. Keep the little
After
people
all,
out
it
of
is
this.
taking a mortal and turning them into a slave to your blood.
I don't like including folks who aren't involved in it in the first place, so... Maybe I need to introduce the concept of facts and numbers a bit more clearly. I like Mr. Ressner. I like his ideas. I like what he's trying to do. It's not my methods. I'm trying to keep on track with what he's up to. Every step of the way, feel like I'm having to ask him 1,000 questions just to get any kind of footing. Mr. Shriek, I don't really know what to ask him. I feel like the only person who's really got me any kind of grounding on that front is Miss Alexandra. The more I use her as an excuse, the weirder, more messed up that kind of relationship gets. I'm going home. Naren returns back to his truck, just kind of like grumbling to himself, and almost like he's like gears are turning, and he's kind of like moving his hands as if he's trying to like physically push different little factors that keep popping up into his head and just like pushing them away, pushing them away. I just hit my elbow, pushing them away. And then like pulling other, like the clear path in front of him, the focused path that he's trying to have put together.
Indeed.
That's all, really.
Yeah. All right. Well, that leaves Alex and Shriek for the remainder of the night. So, Alex, you have been poring over journals and notes and anything else. What do you want to know?
So she's going through all of this information, and she's actually, as she's going through it, she's taking notes and actually setting them up in a more protective archival style folder.
Okay.
As she's going.
Okay. Makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
And she's sorting them by date.
Okay. Makes sense.
So starting with the newest stuff first, going through it and seeing what's there, and just slowly working her way through the pile. So whatever she's found by going through it like this.
Okay. So you're not doing any intensive reading right now. You're just doing some sorting. But let's see what you can draw up just from the glances that you have gotten. So, do you have a particular question in mind that I can then make you roll for?
She was very interested in the spell that was used to store this information.
So you're looking for anything of a magical sort of source.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to call that a resolve and investigation, because you need to find the thing before you can understand it.
Investigation. Let's willpower that. You know.
Because you can't succeed at a cost as well.
No. Let's not do that tonight.
2. Okay. Just doing some skimming while you're sorting. You're not finding anything. You're not really paying that much attention at the moment that anything sticks out to you. You might have to read between the lines, or might have to do some real intense study on some of these other things. But right now, just sorting everything, piling it into archival folders, making sure that it's intact and in good condition and able to be protected, that's been your primary focus with the sorting of these things tonight. So that's really all that you're going to get. You don't see much in the way of detail of what you're looking for.
Yeah. Anything that does stand out, she's kind of noting it down on a separate piece of paper, marked with like numbers and things like that, to mark what page it was and all that sort of stuff. So she's got all that as she's skimming through it.
As you're skimming, though, you're finding it's primarily journal entries and historical kind of side by sides. Like, for example, one thing that you do see that is part of this little stash is that there are newspaper clippings about events that have happened and notes from various individuals about those events. Without getting into too much of the details of those events, they seem to be clues on something that they were investigating. Another example is a very ancient, sort of very old journal about that seemed to have entries regarding a person's exploits, going from Europe to the Americas uh, in search of, things that should not be, uh, following a particular case, it looks like. It's just a wide variety, it seems, of personal testimonies.
Yeah.
And that's what you get the general gist of it is.
Okay. So she is going to, once she decides that that's enough of that for tonight, she's going to put that away, because she still does have the whole thing with Olsen playing in the back of her mind, and I can't remember if she told anybody about that yet, and I don't know if Aaron told anybody about that yet.
Where you
So
saw him
after a little
interacting
while,
with somebody on the street.
yes, that. So she is going to put all that away, including her newly made notes slipped in on top of it, before she heads out to see if she can't figure out where Shriek might be.
All right. Well, I think Shriek has ways of getting in contact with him, doesn't he? I think he has a phone, right, Shriek? Derek?
I'm here. Sorry.
Sorry, yeah, does Shriek have a phone? I think he does.
Shriek does have a phone.
So you can definitely text him, Alex. See where he's at.
Yep.
Since you've spent most of your night in the sort of archive at the moment.
So she's going to send in a message, basically saying, "Want to meet, am available, and you pick the place."
It's about 2 a.m. at this point, Shriek.
Oh, look who decided to come out of her hole. God, they end up thinking that I end up staying inside all day. Let's think about this. I'll come pick you up.
Okay.
And you send him your location?
Yep.
All right.
I'd probably just say at Aaron's.
Okay. So you meet up at Aaron's.
Oh, goody. I end up pulling up and make sure to unlock the passenger side door. Maybe I'm a little obnoxious with the gas and revving revving it a bit, but who can blame me?
It is a
Alex
fantastic-looking car.
Alex is really careful to lock up behind her as she goes, as much as possible. And when she climbs into the car, she kind of gives Shriek this side eye. You're really loving this car, aren't you?
I like the alien American muscle behind me.
Can't say I'm surprised.
As he starts driving, takes a minute. He takes it slow, staying within the domain, but he's also staying moving. So, what was so important that the Sorceress Supreme suddenly decided to end up calling me?
Did Aaron manage to get onto you about the 2 people that we saw walking down the street the other night?
Wasn't aware you and Aaron were having much of a fling.
I wouldn't call it a fling. More shared interest. I was on my way to get some information, and Aaron was accompanying me. And I happened to see one Dr. Olson with a person of interest. Someone that Aaron happened to know from his hunter days.
Olson, huh? Okay. You got my curiosity. Now get my attention.
Forgive me, my brain is not working correctly this evening. Lots and lots of notes. What do you
I'm
mean?
sure. It's boring, Alex. It's boring. I told you,
Okay.
you can do a lot of things around me. Just don't bore me.
Does the Society of St. Leopold catch your attention?
Yeah, I'd imagine it does.
Intelligence occult, Shriek.
Okay. One success, so I guess no, not really.
Sounds like a bunch of words. Sounds official. But what does it have to do with anything?
It sounds Catholic.
You would be on the right track.
No, good.
So there are various lines of hunters. Hunters connected to various secret societies and Society of
Honey,
St.
you're
Leopold,
involved in a
one
secret
of them.
society. Whoop-de shit.
Well, my secret society isn't trying to. Never mind.
Yeah,
The
I
size.
thought so. You might want to be careful about that one.
Society of St. Leopold. Definitely involved with it. And this woman has been known to have dealings with it. High chances that she's got something to do with the government. They are very highly armed, Blackwater kind of vibes, as Aaron put it.
Oh, so is this one of those chase them down, try and end up hunting them out, and they have a few of their members go missing, they send more investigations, round and round we go again?
I just want to know why Dr. Olson is speaking. That's all.
If I recall, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Olson was the touchstone of Anna, if I recall.
No.
No.
Dr. Olson specifically was the doctor in charge of the blood bank that Alex used to frequent.
Right.
That is no longer in existence and is still under construction.
Maybe because, yep, it was burned down.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Still under remodeling.
Okay. So if I had to end up guessing, it would probably end up coming down to that is probably one of the easiest ways to end up making a honeypot in order to end up hunting down one of us. And given the fact that the last person that ended up going in there burned it down under mysterious circumstances.
Look, we looked on Dr. Olson's computer. Do you remember that?
I remember you did. I just unlocked the thing.
Well, he had a bunch of names leading to people who were suffering from anemia in the area.
Yep, sounds about right.
Now, I'm not the only person connected with all of that.
No, but you are the one who takes it personal.
Do you think it's a good idea for somebody like Dr. Olson, who is making connections left, right, and center, to be perhaps talking with somebody from a hunter's society?
They're gonna talk. That's what they do. Half of the fun is they don't know that we know.
Okay.
Half of the thing that maintains. I mean, I get it. Tremere, You're used to staying in the closest thing to a castle, in the keep of the castle, and you get a little nervous when you end up seeing something that just changed a little bit. Right? So let me give you the Nosferatu experience, okay? To you, this is new. This concept of Dr. Olson talking with Leopold, and I'm going to tell you right now, people like Olson, societies like Leopold, they've existed for centuries. They've been doing this for a lot longer than either one of us have been around. Right? With me so far?
Yes.
And the thing that maintains us is
Secrecy.
masquerade. There we go. See? I'm so glad. Sires are teaching here, kids. There is hope for the future after all. So, with you knowing this, this gives you a chance to do what?
Get ahead of the curve.
Ah, there we go. Okay, now let me introduce the way the Nosferatu have this tendency of doing it. See, we just don't kick the hornet's nest. Let's dial it back for a second. So, major organization, right? Governmental resources and all that fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, problem is that there's only so much to go around. Eventually, something needs to get their attention. Whatever gets their attention, that's where the resources are deviated. So, the people who can survive all this are not the people who take out the Inquisition every 2 seconds. They're the ones that don't trip the line. They're the ones who stay a little bit stealth. And because of that, you then end up seeing the idiots who said we can take on the Second Inquisition. Like we've earlier done. Much to my chagrin, I'll openly admit. So now they have a reason to start poking around here. I could have told you beforehand that this was going to be the natural recourse. The fact that they're here gaining contact is because we ended up deciding to hit them. So what do you think happens if we hit them again because we got this little bit of info?
Confirmation.
See? They told me Tremere were dumb. I knew you could keep up.
The whole reason I'm bringing it to you, Shriek. You had eyes on the blood bank, didn't you?
I might know a thing or two.
And I'm going to assume that in conjunction with that, you likely were watching Olsen as well.
Might know something about that. So
I'm simply giving you a lead.
What do you actually want to know?
What's the connection? How did he come into contact?
Can't say how they came into contact. I will say this, though. For as much as people are panicking over Keller's current role in the new space, he's going to be markedly distracted. So, because he's going to be like that, it's going to end up coming down to who is it that's going to end up trying to end up holding it all together. Not going to be an official title, and he gets final say and all, the good stuff. But it does end up leading to something very interesting. Darling, what we have here is a situation where the adults aren't paying attention to kids on purpose.
Hmm.
This situation you got going with the dear doctor, I want you to think about this for a second. The adults aren't paying attention. And now you have a potential dear doctor with the church talking. And what was your knee-jerk reaction?
To mention it to you.
You wanted to mention it to me because you were intending to do something.
I was intending to find out and why. I want information, and that's about it. Depending on the information, would decide what I would do next.
It's a bait.
Bait.
Mhm.
For who?
That would cost you more than you can afford.
Fair enough.
But I'll say this. We're all left out on the platter, ready for whoever wants to dig in. When that's the case, it's best not to end up jumping to the top of the heap. And it's best not to look your prettiest when that happens.
Interesting. So your advice is to keep the head low.
Keep the head low, know what's going on. Because there's what you know, there's what they know, and then there's what's actually happening.
You always come up with some of the most interesting insights, Drake.
So, the church is involved. If I were you, I would go with God. After all, she'd be the expert in the situation at hand. And also the one that's most likely to get caught just due to position.
You know, I hadn't thought of that.
Our little Zamisi is a problem, but some of the best leverage we still have. Hate to give that up for free. But if the church is involved, guess where their eyes are going to start flying to?
That would make sense. Well, would you like to accompany me in going and speaking with her?
He rolls up his sleeve a little bit, showcasing the burn marks. His arm's still mostly char underneath it. Yeah, because that worked out so well the last time.
What on earth happened? Oh, is that from...
Yeah. The last time you and me decided to party together.
Look. That was
You're
different.
not reading me. I haven't stopped since then. I've barely fed since then. All to keep you informed on what is going on. All to end up keeping Mr. Resner on top of the ball. All to end up trying to end up seeing what kind of threat or purpose Mr. Winters ends up holding on. All to end up figuring out what's going on in this domain, and then what's going on in this domain. Okay? Little stressed right now. And now you're asking me to end up accompanying you to the one place I just told you your Society of Leopold might actually start looking, when I think I just explicitly said, keep your head down. Now, if you wanted to end up going out there, sweetheart, that's perfectly fine. But my fine ass hasn't been in church since I was 12 years old, and it still hurts.
A couple of months ago. Weeks, months. It all seems to run together. You know what I mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I understand what you mean.
Because I don't have the luxury of just being able to sit in a room and study over notes. Okay, I don't get nice little care packages of information. It doesn't always just plop into my lap. Oftentimes, I gotta get down and dirty in ways that honestly just don't befit me. And yet I do it. Because that's what this coterie needs. And I get shown just a little bit of appreciation from the newcomer. And I haven't fed. I'm going to end up accompanying you, not because it's a good idea. I think it's a terrible idea. I'm going to accompany you because my job is to end up looking out for you and seeing on how this here goes regardless. Despite all of my personal misgivings on this situation.
Instead of doing that, let's go get you fed then.
Honey, I don't think you've tried to do it the way I do.
I have. That's how the blood bank ended up burned down.
No, you haven't tried it the way I do. Your way is the way that burns down blood banks. That's a signature of you, not me. Property
Okay,
destruction
admittedly, I
is
can't do
firmly
stealth.
in the... Despite the fact that I might have buildings collapse around me if I stick around for a couple of years, you're the one with the record on property destruction in this coterie, darling.
Okay. So I'm not good on stealth.
Not good on stealth? I've managed to smuggle in bulls high on cocaine in through China shops with easier and quieter results than what it is that the bookworm Tremere, who's supposed to be locked up in a nice little study surrounded by the corpses of trees plastered by Mother Earth herself, could ever do.
So what can I do for you then, Drake?
Stop making attention.
Then I will go hide back with my books.
You wanted to talk to him? That's your call. I'm going to follow you along because for some odd reason, my survival instinct...
I have to ask. I'm trying to take your good advice here. Why are you trying to argue me against it?
Because a part of me knows to keep my head down. The other part of me needs to know if there is any correlation between our little nun and if there's even a remote chance of them skirting along with this Leopold. Okay?
So
And
you're losing out.
if your dock is connected to that, that is a concern I need to be ahead of the curve on. I just don't like sticking my neck out. But I also don't like the idea of you doing it alone, because you doing it with me causes a goddamn blood bank to burn down. God knows what's going to happen when you're unsupervised. Darling, don't even start with me.
You know, I have no argument for that.
Yeah, because you have come to the realization that everybody ends up coming to the realization here for after they've been around me. And it's the real reason that nobody likes my tight ass. Because in the end, they have to say those 3 words that makes everybody feel a little sick inside.
Let me guess. You were right?
Shriek was right.
I think that's a good spot for us to take a quick break. So, be right back, everybody. We will be back very shortly. So, stick around. We'll be concluding this evening in a little bit. And welcome back, everyone, to Blood and Iron, Dead Man's Hand. So, we're going to finish up the night. There's about an hour or so worth of time left for these kindred to do a little bit of hunting. So, they're going to do that for those who need it. Before they turn in for the day sleep coming close. So, my friends, who is going on a hunt? I believe Shriek is.
I ain't got anything now. Do we heal aggravated health damage at the beginning of the night or at the end of the night? Is there an option? Is there a choice there?
You can choose to heal it whenever you'd like.
All right. Sure, we'll do that first, and then I'll go ahead and go for a hunt.
Okay.
Let's see, this one. It did two
That's
so
2.
far.
Yep.
And-
Oh, it didn't
God.
cost you a lick of blood. Your flesh knits without spending much in the way of extra effort.
He just has his shirt open, looking in the mirror. He's like, "Yeah, you were ready, weren't you?"
You on the good shit.
Which means that you don't get hungrier, so you're not at the risk of frenzy on a hunting roll at this point, are you?
I'm also at 1 hunger, so really the only way to get any better than that is if I
Killed somebody.
suck
There's
them
always
dry.
that temptation.
Capri Sun.
Yeah, I ain't exactly interested in turning someone into a juice packet, so we'll just call it a night.
All right, we'll call it a night. See what the new evening brings next time. What about Alex and Shriek?
I'll drop Alex off before I end up going hunting.
Okay. So Shriek is going alone.
Alex would help, but she's probably not going to be much help. In fact, she'd probably be more of a hindrance. So, yeah, probably for the best.
I'd rather not have to burn down a family home again.
Because I believe your feeding roll revolves around a stealth check, and Alex has said she's not good at stealth.
No.
Unless it's during the 4th of July, in which case it blends right the hell in.
Mm.
I am currently at hunger 2, so the intent here is to feed, and while feeding I want to end up making a rouse check, so
Okay.
trying to circumvent any chance of a frenzy post or during.
Okay. So what that's going to entail is your feeding roll is, you will do your hunting roll. You will then roll, after you have had the first dot of blood. If you are taking indeed 2, we'll decide that after you have rolled your rouse checks for your heal.
It is the closest I can get to avoiding a frenzy check.
Okay.
It's still not guaranteed. All right.
All right. Go ahead and roll your hunt. Ooh, yikers.
Never mind. I can't find anything. I have 9 dice and I rolled 1 success. Dark dice in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Trick did it again.
Does anybody call Mr. Resner to help them feed?
No. Not letting anybody know it.
So,
But yeah.
Shriek, I will allow you to succeed at a cost. This means that you do get the blood you get, and you do heal that aggravated health damage at no hunger increase. However, it means that someone in the domain, as a cost, would take 2 hunger themselves.
No, I can't.
It could be one of your coterie mates. It could be
No. I will
someone
not
else.
inflict that upon another kindred, and the price being falling on another human being. All right, I may be dropping humanity like a goddamn stone right now, but I am not here to egg that on.
Okay. Then are you still healing?
No, I am not.
Okay. Then you go hungry for
I go
tonight.
hungry.
And Alex doesn't need. Are you healing the superficial damage you have?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
All right. Then that, my friends, would conclude the evening. So, with the daylight coming, the sunrise is over the horizon. The day in Dallas and in Fort Worth and in the surrounding suburbs goes on as if they have no idea that the slumbering kindred amongst them even exist. The day goes by, the usual things happen. The sun goes down and disappears behind the horizon once more, and these kindred wake from their slumber in their havens. So I need everyone to roll a rouse check for the new evening. Oh, you're lucky. Lucky Mr. Aaron.
Mr. Winters is having the time of his life right now.
You went to bed feeling good. You healed aggravated damage, feeling good. You wake up feeling good. It's all coming up Aaron. But Alex, Dorian, and Shriek all get a little hungrier this evening. So, is anyone hunting first thing this evening?
I think I will.
Okay. Then make a hunting roll, my friend. You're searching for blood bags. You're either calling contacts or you're chasing down an ambulance, something to that effect, or stealing from a blood drive in the area. Only 3. Same cost.
No.
Then you are not successful.
Bugger. Oh well.
That does mean an hour of your time, Alex, is spent.
It's alright.
Anyone else? Shriek, Dorian, Aaron? No? Well, that does mean that...
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
I guess I'll try. Why not? Because
Go
I
ahead.
like to keep on top of it since it's harder for me too.
Yep. Your difficulty is increased by 1 because you are picky.
All right. Let's see. How many do I need?
You need 4.
I need 4.
Yep, you can willpower or succeed at a cost.
I'll willpower.
Okay. You are able to get 5. So, yes, you are able to slake your hunger with the kind of person that you enjoy feeding from, Mr. Ventru.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'd after I go ahead and get my meal, I'd send a text out to everybody and see what everybody's up to and if anybody needs any help.
Yep. Anyone else?
Alex would send a message back. Meeting? With a question mark.
That's fine.
All right. I guess everybody's meeting up at Alexandra's.
I would think that we would actually be meeting up at that gazebo since that's become our new default meeting space.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't care about bugs in the garden.
Bugs in the garden could actually be good for it.
Yeah.
Depending.
Or exploding light bulbs.
Or exploding light bulbs.
Struggle.
All right. But Aaron and Shriek would actually be the first ones to potentially arrive, since Alex and Dorian would have spent an hour hunting on their own. So there is an hour for Aaron and Shriek to do something before everyone meets up.
Why are you looking at me like that?
A curiosity. I haven't decided yet.
Well,
Heard some interesting news on the grapevine recently, that's all.
Well, you're welcome to ask.
Yeah, but I trust the answer.
Do I look like the kind of guy that can lie?
You look like the kind of guy who, if he's caught in a lie, will just tear my head off. Important distinction.
I can't refute that.
Besides, I imagine if I'm wrong, then that just compounds the problem. If I'm right, then this just makes your situation all the more awkward. Have any reservations about entering churches?
No.
Figure I ask. I just figured with old Leo and all, there might be some misgivings.
You see his expression change. Maybe for a moment, shadows seem to shift around, almost in response. Not necessarily growing or daunting in any way, just moved. So what'd you know about that?
Pretend I know everything and assume I'm not willing to admit that.
Take it Alexandra told you?
If I need her to tell everything to me, then I wouldn't be very good at my job, now would I?
That's a good point.
But it became more relevant if she knows about it.
So humor me. What is it that you know about all that?
Tell me something I don't know.
I made a deal with Balthazar. Help our own Tremere get a little bit more than secret magic spells up your sleeve.
Oh, that's curious. You and Balthazar. Definitely an odd couple. Cute.
Yeah,
Make a hilarious movie. I can't wait for the DVD to come out.
Not like I could watch it.
Here's what I know. A little while back, Second Inquisition rolls into town. Probably because of the kerfuffle that happened, during our dear prince's escapades. The whole lopped heads, left on rooftops, burned at the stake, set on fire, napalm, skinned alive, the whole works, because our prince loves his theatrics. But in doing so, caught the attention of certain investigative sources, shall we say. When that happened, they just wanted to take a look, confirm some rumors. Then a few of their agents went missing. Those still on the ground, I'll have to end up poking around. But they just had their fingernails clipped, so claws ain't what they used to be. Gotta reach out to somebody who's still got them. The old kind. Need some help. Probably unsure into doing it, but they know one thing. Target can be found in Austin. And the more we struggle against it, the more we confirm their suspicions. Which means the deeper they dig, like a tick. And the more we struggle against it, the more that we end up drawing attention. It's an escalation problem. And if somebody's reaching out to the church for this, well, you know, separation of church and state seems to kind of disappear a little bit when fangs are involved. That give you a little bit of a summary?
It does. And, wonder if I can keep your interest here and, got a couple more rounds of cards to play.
Well, you're not the type I would have expected to play my games. Sure. I'd like to end up having a little bit of private time with you.
You good at figuring out some information behind names?
Depends on the name.
Pretty sure I got a name. Just one, though. But he used to work with my pa. And presumably also with my uncle.
Family business.
Right. God, do I have her name? Is she in here? For serious enemies. She is in here. Alright. Might be an alias. But lady by the name of Talia Rose Abner.
Abner. Any chance I've heard this name before or have come across it, Coffee?
Depends on how connected you are with SI Intel. So that's going to be, wouldn't necessarily be a politics role. It'd be something else. I'm going to call that an intelligence investigation, because I don't see any other skill that would actually be appropriate.
Potentially occult, because she was with the Vatican.
Or occult, yeah.
Leaving it to choice, or are you calling it a cult?
Either one. It'll flavor the details.
Oh, well.
Well. Look who decided to show up.
Look who decided to show up.
That's a messy crit, my friend. Do you want to keep
He'd be
it?
knowing. He's like, oh, I know it.
Do you want to keep it?
I hate to do this, but because I don't have a lot of willpower to spell, but I am going to reroll that 110.
Okay. Changes it to just 6. A regular old 6 instead of a messy crit. Okay. Strangely enough, when Alex was talking in a little bit of vagaries about the Society of Leopold last night, maybe it just didn't click. Maybe for some reason whatever. It's just some highfalutin secret society name that may or may not be real. Who even the fuck knows? But when you're given a name, Talia Rose Abner, you swear in all of the research that you did regarding Kyra Hardin and Harrison Winters and the group that they were kind of rolling with, that name came up in their files at least once. Now, it didn't click to you before because for some reason Society of Leopold just didn't seem like a connection there. But that name has come up in at least one or two emails between Harrison Winters, Kyra Hardin, and the one guy who got away. The driver that night. And his name was Cash.
Cold hard cash.
They're all linked together. They've all been in contact.
Your family ended up running with some interesting circles. Daddy Winters and Cash, and running with Abner for a bit. Cash is still on the loose. Guess it wouldn't be out of the question that after what Cash ended up hearing about, well, I had to go and get some backup. So I might know a thing or two about Abner.
Got it.
The big question is you, mostly. I'm still waiting for the coin to land on you.
In what particular way?
Let's look at it from my side for a brief moment. At this exact moment, I am talking to a hunter, not just any hunter, but a Winters. Family history, implying a lot of death. You probably ashed more than your fair share of my own cousins. Sweep that under the rug for now, but old habits die hard. Winters for a lot longer than you are what you are now. And while it might be in the short term, good time for you to play ball, you just inherited all the powers that night can provide. And you're only going to get stronger with age. And the sentimentality is going to end up eroding away. And then one day you're going to think, you know, I used to be really good at killing all these things. And once you start thinking of people like that, other kindred not far behind. So, for my own skin, I need to end up assessing how this is gonna go. And I'm not sure. Not yet, anyway. love to help. But every time I help you, I have to ask myself, am I being implicit in is this effectively just the world's slowest suicide?
So what I'm getting is you're afraid of getting hurt. More specifically, getting killed.
By you, more specifically. Everything else I can handle. You know, if it comes from somebody I don't see coming, well, that's my own fault, right? If it comes by, I don't know, Second Inquisition kill team coming into my little neck of the woods and busting into my haven in the middle of the day, well, I should have seen that coming. You, on the other hand, you're the lion I'm trapped in a cage with. And sure, you might be sated now, and if I stay in my corner and act small, you might not do anything immediately. But maybe one day your owner decides that they're a little sick, so they can't feed you today. Then eat me suddenly has a very different connotation. And honey, I know that it is one of those situations where you're going to deal with a lot of suspicion, and I empathize with that. I really do. But I think even you would admit it's a little stupid to just take you at face value. Everybody else plays along. Everybody else plays kind. Gresner needs you for the muscle. Alex sees you as a curiosity and somebody to mine for knowledge. And with a history like yours, it's not hard to see why. They get something out of it. So they see a net benefit to playing nice. Not me, though. But the good news is that means I get to be honest with you. Isn't the world fun?
Alright. Lots of fun. You want some kind of leverage to save your skin in a tight spot.
Nah, I don't think you can give me that kind of leverage, unfortunately. No amount of leverage is going to stop someone like you. For Alex, it might stop Alex. Off chance, I might be able to end up dealing with Resner. You, on the other hand? Is there anybody in this entire coterie who could even try and stop you if you just decided that one day you had enough?
Perhaps.
No, I don't think so. That makes you the alpha predator here. The only good news I have is you might be the stronger predator. But this is my jungle we're playing. But I'm not going to be arrogant enough to end up presuming that's going to give me enough of an edge. There's no way to really control you, Mr. Winters. Especially if you decide to start looking into old habits. Reality? I think I know why you're here. My concern, more than anything, is if I'm right. But Figured we'd have this beautiful heart-to-heart. Get to know each other in that way.
Because wouldn't you know it, Alex and Dorian, individually, do roll up in their vehicles and to join you at the gazebo.
Evening.
Evening.
Honey!
How are we all doing this fine evening?
Oh, fabulous, darling, fabulous.
Did I interrupt something?
No. Just comparing notes. You know. Like to keep ahead of the curve.
Hey.
Oh, what's wrong? You look tense. Is there a reason for me to be tense right now, Alex?
I'm more looking at Mr. Winters.
Oh, well,
Did you
I
try
don't
to make
know.
a pass at him again?
Nah, we just played some cards. And, let's split the pot. Anyways, I'm ready to get to work. What we up to tonight?
Like I said, going to church.
There is a certain person amongst our kind who has a good ear. Now, the other night, you and I spotted two persons of interest. And this is something that I would certainly like to get ahead of the curve on. Wouldn't you?
Certainly. I'd like to get it resolved sooner than later. I'm exactly
I have a
fond of
question.
sneaking around.
Just how uncomfortable does Mr. Winters look right now?
It's not so much, perhaps it's a little bit like of the lack of usual like banter or humor that he carries on. Maybe potentially a little bit in how the environment is kind of shifting around him. It's normal for Lasombra to have shadows, but maybe at this point, both Alex and Shriek would probably notice that when Aaron is having emotional distress, discomfort, anger, tension, that kind of thing, he kind of unconsciously shifts the shadows around him.
Almost defensively?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
So you notice
Mr.
there
Resna.
is some distortion.
Yes.
Mhm.
Did you have anything planned this evening?
No, I think I'm quite open for the moment.
Then let's say we make this a family outing.
We could do that. It would be good to check in.
All right. Then all of you load into your vehicles as you see fit to head over to a little church
Alex is going to leave her vehicle parked here, and she's going to slide into the passenger seat of Aaron's car.
Okay.
And I guess I'll do the same. I'll parked in my driveway. And I'll go and jump in with Shriek.
All right.
In the
If he
truck ride,
lets me.
Aaron is. Aaron's gonna talk to Alex while they're in the vehicle alone for a moment. So I talked about the whole ceremony getting with my sire there, Vince. Looks like it might be a little bit more of a ladder crawl than I thought it was.
You didn't put a time limit. I noticed Balthazar never put a time limit either.
Well, that might be at my convenience. To my benefit here, because seems that age may potentially be a capacitor.
And what do you mean by that?
Don't want to. Well, Vince is probably in his right mind about it, but you don't want to teach me anything new until he, thinks his investment is worth the stock.
So you make yourself worth it.
That's the plan. Just keeping you updated on it.
I appreciate it. Are you okay?
I'm dandy.
You're really not a good liar.
I claim to be.
You're about
Yet
as good a
everyone-
liar as I am.
Yeah, well, for some reason everyone's convinced that I am.
Not going to lie, it's something that most kindred expect. We expect each other to bold-facedly lie. Part of what we are, unfortunately.
You could give me a little insight.
I'm listening.
Mr. Shriek and I played some cards, as I said. Dealt a couple hands back and forth. And, kind of hearing out that, scared the man shitless somehow. He doesn't particularly feel secure in any sort of partnership here.
I see.
But of that, I wasn't able to really pull apart what it is that I could do in that regard. If he wants something, if he wants me to fix something, if he wants me to hand off some that kind of leverage to him, he didn't really accept any of that.
Shriek is a complicated person,
You're damn straight.
put it lightly. He is built on mistrust. Mistrust keeps us all, for lack of a better word, alive. He trades in information. And so he walks a fine line constantly. And while he is physically capable, if he can't control the situation with information, if somebody is more physically capable than him, he's at a loss. We had a coterie member of your same clan at one point.
Yeah, I've heard a bit about it. The
What did
one
you
that
hear?
Kane fella dropped out a dead man's hand before the whole gig was well, relinquished to Primogen Keller.
Yes. Anything else?
Was working with tight with the scourge. That's about the gist of it.
Kane is a man with a very short fuse. Incredibly quick to anger. And he was not afraid to use his physical strength to get what he wanted. Shriek got a taste.
Ouch.
And it was unexpected because we were supposed to be working together. Or at least it was
Double
for me.
ouch.
Kindred expect to be betrayed by those that we are close to. Because that's the nature. Shriek knows what that is like. So you can't force your way with him. He will either distrust you or he will trust you on his own dime. You'll either earn it or you'll throw it away. In the end, how he feels about you is his decision.
Alright. I'll push him on anything then.
Help out where you can. If it takes some of the pressure off of him, I'm sure he'll appreciate it.
It's been helping me along just fine. He was the first person I spoke to in this domain, so. Well, in that respect,
I hold Shriek in very high regard. I think a lot of people do, but I don't think he realizes.
part of that mistrust a bit.
Exactly.
Speaking of Shriek, any words between Shriek and Dorian as on the ride there?
I would check in. Yeah.
Leave that to Dorian.
Shriek, you don't mind if I ride with you, do you?
You bought the ride.
Well, that's the thing. It's yours now. It's your choice.
Funny thing about choices, you're usually only given them when they don't matter.
That's true.
So,
How are you doing tonight?
I'm hungry, I'm injured, and I am a terrible card player, as I find out. So, What am I gonna do?
Is there any way I can help?
Oh, I wish. I wish. Stakes are a little richer than your blood can afford. I'm sorry to say.
Oh, I didn't mean with the cards, but maybe I can help
No,
get you fed.
no. I appreciate it, Mr. Resner. I really do.
Well, if you ever need help,
I
I'm in your
know, I
corner.
know. Come to the adventure. That's the resin debt, right? It's what your clan does. Wait for everything to go to hell, then have an answer that usually involves a lot of dirty money and a lot of scheming and a lot of pulling strings. I get it. I appreciate it. Really, the game's fantastic. Wish I could join. Unfortunately, if I ended up trying that, places would be falling to pieces in a matter of minutes.
Well,
No,
the
what
offer is always there.
it's the it's part of the cards I gotta play, if you will.
Mm.
I help you guys. Doesn't help the other way around. Can't afford to. Respect
Mm.
that. My job, as it currently stands, is to end up keeping you informed, you in a good positioning, and to hope that you're able to end up fulfilling your end of the promise. If that ends up happening, well, congratulations, the domain wins, and I get to end up living another night. If it doesn't, likely I'm gonna be staked, put on a rooftop to enjoy one last sunburn before the end. Because the rest of you can afford to end up having a little bit of a slip up, and so long as it's not tradition breaking, you're fine. Discomforted, embarrassed, maybe got a swat on the behind like a choir boy. Oops, did I say that out loud? But overall, your life is just going to keep rolling through the centuries, and you'll have a nice, long, prosperous time being a elder prick by the end, I'm sure. This falls through for me. Well, I'm pretty sure you'll forget me in a couple of decades. Thankfully, I'm sure.
Don't forget, we're in this together, Shriek.
No, we're not. No, that is why. Why does everybody end up considering it a together thing? We're not in this together, all right? If we were in this together, that would imply that we're all holding the same stakes. We're not, Mr. Dresner. You can afford to screw up, and at the worst case, you get chewed out. Chewed out, probably dealt with before. You could probably deal with some hothead. You probably deal with a few errant employees, somebody who ends up giving you a little bit of too much lip or something like that. You're in that camp, okay? Alex is in that camp. I'm not. I'm in the camp where if anything could be put on my head, it's enough to take it off. We're not playing the same game. We're not even playing on the same field. Hell, I don't think we're playing on the same continent.
All the more reason it makes me want to help. It may piss you off, but I value your role and I value you. If I can help in some way, that's the least I can do, I figure.
Where the fuck's Alex when you need her?
Oh, am I supposed to just not care?
Yes. Yes, that is exactly it. Okay?
Have you met me and things that I've done? Does it look like someone that just doesn't care?
I think it's somebody who cares when it looks good to care. And that is a fantastic line to be feeding the thin bloods, okay? That's a fantastic line to be feeding the elders. That's a fantastic line when you're talking to the prince, okay? Even when it's bullshit, and they know it's bullshit, and you know it's bullshit, and they know that you know that it's bullshit, it is still a fantastic line. It is a fantastic modus operandi for you to continually say, I care. That is a beautiful thing, okay? But don't put me in that same fucking stratosphere. I'm not.
Hmm. Never said you had to care.
I never said anything about me caring. We're talking about you.
That's the whole thing about choices, like you said before.
They're often given when they don't matter.
Yeah, well, it also means that when they're made, nothing you can do to change it.
So, what are we having this conversation for?
I just wanted to try to help. I don't know why you're so upset.
You're right, you don't. You don't get why I'm upset.
I don't
Okay?
understand a lot about you, Drake.
You don't understand why I'm upset. Winters doesn't understand why I might want to end up keeping, maybe the length of the Mississippi between me and him. And Alex doesn't fully understand why it is that I end up having to end up playing this game completely different than everybody else. This game of court and kings, of princes and primogents, of playing the dance, frolicking around, acting the fool while I end up keeping my ear to the ground, while wanting to end up doing certain favors in case it ends up coming down to that. But whatever it takes to end up making sure that I end up staying ahead of the curve, to end up being able to see the next sunrise, because that's the default. When that's threatened, you could actually end up coming up to it. Me, that's never a fucking certainty. Pardon the language, I forgot who I'm talking to.
Can I insight check him real quick?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to see what his motives are, why he's acting this way, and try to get a read on him.
All right.
What's an insight for Dorian and for Shrink? If you're trying to hide your motive, then it would be a manipulation or subterfuge.
This is important, so I'm going to rouse the blood for this.
Okay.
Well, that's 4. I'm actually doing well. Oh, right. Forgot who I was talking to.
And 6. Yeah, so Shriek, there isn't much you can do to defend against that. So what is motivating you right now?
Rick doesn't think he'll live to see the end of the night. And he's operating under that premise.
So he's kind of scared. Or is he just resigned?
No, scared would probably be it. But if you were asking for motive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like why
what is
he
motivating him? What's motivating him is that he, for one reason or another, does not or believes that his time is nigh.
If not tonight, soon. Which Shriek there may be some some indication of something that's going on at the church, because the door is hanging wide open and kind of looks on off hinge.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
So, I'm assuming that we're
You're also
also
parked and
right
seeing this
behind it.
too. Yeah.
I would like, as soon as I see that, I would like to use a ritual that I have already used before. Eliminate the trail of prey.
Okay.
And I want it targeted specifically on that woman that I saw with Dr. Olson.
The woman you saw with Dr. Olson?
Yes. So I do
Roll me-
believe that a
roll me
blood
that ritual
sorcery
roll.
intelligence. First of all, arouse.
Yep. Rouse for the ritual, and then roll me the ritual roll.
And while that happens, I'm gonna pull the keys out of my car,
Mm-hmm.
exit out of it,
Difficulty.
and before Dresner has an opportunity to do anything, he throws the keys in his lap and say, "Keep the engine running." And upon the key toss and the distraction, he is going to end up using Obfuscate to do Unseen Passage.
Okay. Unseen passage. Alex, the trail
Yes.
for your prey is not present.
Okay. That's one thing.
Oh shit.
So, just for Wonderful Winters, he probably would have seen her reach into her bag, pull out a knife and a white ribbon, and just slice into her hand and poke the ribbon, and then her eyes kind of did the lazy red thing.
Yep.
And she's looking about as if she's trying to look for something. So that woman has not been present here.
Nope.
That does not say anything for anything else. Lovely.
Yep.
I
You had
don't
a
like
very
this.
Very specific target for your ritual.
Yeah, that one has to.
You see the front door of Shriek's car open, but then you don't see Shriek.
Oh.
I'll get out and going around and get into the car and start it.
I'm just gonna go through the
leaving
front
the
door.
passenger door.
Wait, hold on. Alex actually grabs him by the back of his jacket and is like, hold on. Shriek
Everyone's else is out on the
Team.
run. I gotta make sure. All right, what's the plan?
can't be seen by normal eyes. So we wait. We wait.
Is the door
Keep
not
an eye
supposed to be
out.
open?
Obviously.
Shriek. Roll obfuscate.
Okay, so you're asking me to roll wits discipline?
Yep.
Okay. And I still have the phlegmatic resonance because I didn't succeed at thieving yesterday, so...
Yeah. You
Yay!
get to hang on to that. Okay.
4.
Noted. So, where are you going?
I'm going into the church to investigate.
You go into the church, and what you see is a number of individuals who are already present. Sister Charity is speaking face to face with Primogen Ian Keller, who has dragged along Anna. You see Kane is at the door, blocking entry from the other 2 coterie mates of Sister Charities. He's standing there with his arms crossed. And you see that Dr. Keller looks very, very impatient and very angry. "Where is she?" he says very loudly. And Sister Charity responds, "I don't know what you're talking about." "You don't? You don't know what I'm talking about? Look at this girl." And he shoves Anna in front of Sister Charity's face. "This is not Anna. Where is she?" What do you do, Shriek?
This is not. This is not who?
Anna, your
Anna.
former coterie mate. The one you bargained with.
Okay, no, I wasn't. No, I'm just like, okay, did I hear that name right?
Yep.
This is good.
Shriek. It looks like Anna.
It looks like Anna.
Speaks like Anna. Seems like her voice that's coming out of that shuddering mouth. He says it's not her.
I have a quick question.
You don't like the way that he's dragging. He's got her in
No,
his
I
hand
don't.
either. So
I have a.
yes, for those outside,
Keller is shouting. Can we hear him?
wits and awareness, because he is indoors. It might be a little muffled.
I ain't got a great dice pool for it, but I'm gonna roll for it too. I want to know.
I'm gonna willpower that.
Mm.
I'll take my 2.
Is it alright if I roll too?
Yep, go ahead. You're in the car, so it might be a little higher for you, but yeah, Dorian, I would say that's enough. You do hear a shout. The words you don't get, but you do hear a shout coming from inside the church. Shriek, you're witnessing this. What are you doing?
I believe it's at that point. I am walking through the pews, grab hold of a Bible, and lift it up on the floor and drop it to make a fairly large bang that will reveal me being in the room.
Yes. You are revealed in the room. Every single individual in the room turns to you.
Wow! Everybody's so uptight tonight. Can't a guy just pray to the Lord in peace?
Shriek, Dr. Keller says. So glad of you to join us.
Oh, I figured you would.
Because perhaps you know the information I'm looking for.
You're looking for Anna.
Yes.
Yeah. And hold up. Let me see if I got this. I love guessing games.
Wait, Shriek? You hear Anna say.
You think that's Anna. Or you don't think that's Anna. And the reason, because you don't think that, you think he had something to do with it. The whole skin thing. Right?
Do you know of any other clan that would do such a thing?
Oh, I can name a few off the cuff, but why spoil the surprise?
This girl is mortal. And I do not like being tricked. You have
what you're
broken
telling me
a
is
boon.
I've broken. No. Dearest Primogen, let us be clear. Anna was delivered to you. You accepted the terms. She was under your care. Which means that Anna has been taken from you at some time. Now, I am sure that thing in your hands right now would have answered a long time ago if they could. However, curious thing. Our dear sister here cannot be the culprit. Implying there's some outside interference that our dear Primogen doesn't know. And worse, is about to remove the only avenue of investigation he has. The only one who understands the very nature of the affliction upon this thing that you currently have that looks like dear Anne.
You hear Kane
you
speak up the way I
Pardon?
see it. You hear Kane speak up the way I see it. You're mincing flowery words, Shriek.
Understandable, Maytag. You're not here to end up dealing with it. You got a leash right now in the hip. I am speaking to my Primogen. If I needed to speak to the Scourge, I would look down and address her appropriately.
You hear a growl.
Yeah. And Maytag, I understand you and me got some beef, but right now would not be the time for you to lose your cool. Things would spill out of control very quickly, and I don't think that our Primogen can afford the mess right now.
Alex,
Aaron,
Dorian.
And he says that as he might see Winters currently coming up. And since Kane's back has turned to Winters, he knows what kind of clusterfuck this can turn into.
Perfect. When Alex called Aaron back, he was like, ah, god damn it. He did actually turn back around, went to the back seat of his truck, pulled out the golf bag, just threw it on the ground, and whipped out the fucking rifle and just started marching. Any protest from Alex, he's just marching, and he turns back with one simple call, and it's the hold. The militaristic hold.
No, I'm coming with you.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
And
I have no doubt
Alright.
Drester's currently watching this clusterfuck, and the voice of the Primogen now echoing across the street, reverberating through the car windshield as things start to escalate.
Driving
Dorian,
behind.
Dorian, what do you do?
You see it, Alex and Winters are just going in.
I'm hoping I'm reading the situation right between my coterie members. Because if I do, I think I can do a very interesting 8-ball corner pocket in this scene.
All right. So what is Dorian doing?
No.
Is he walking up, or is he just sticking behind?
He wants to, but Shriek wanted him to, in case they needed to get away. He's going to trust Shriek.
That was the Primogen's voice.
No.
Oh wait.
Yep. Primogen Keller is in the room. Yep.
You know, the choices you're allowed are the ones that don't matter.
Fuck. I need a second. What would he do? Hearing this and this shouting, he would stick by his coterie mates.
Okay. Following close behind. Which is where Alex, Aaron, and Dorian, you would see that Shriek is kind of standing in the middle of the church, surrounded by these individuals, almost.
I am surrounded by the most dangerous individuals in this domain.
Yep. One of which being Kane, who is blocking the door.
Yep, but he's also paying attention to Shriek.
First thing Alex is going to say is, Kane, hi.
He kind of side-eyes you and then goes back to looking at the center of the room.
This was not what I was expecting to see.
Dearest Primogen,
Explain the situation.
you have misplaced somebody who you were using as leverage. Now you need them back. Unfortunately, the people you need to ask to bring them back are the people who offered them into your services in the first place. Because last time
a feeling as to where she might have gone, as her sires disappeared from court too. So there's some kind of conspiracy going on here, and I demand to know.
Oh, insightful Primogen, I was under the impression that you would be the first.
Do not play games with me.
The games are not mine to be played. Yes, I do love my games. I do, really. And I would love to play with you all night. Unfortunately, my intentions were to play with a nun this evening. That could be delicious. But instead, we end up finding you here. And you are deciding to take it out on that one and that one. And last time I checked, correct me if I'm wrong, sister, you're the only one that has any knowledge to how this could be done. Which would make you a very valuable asset, at the very least, in the investigation.
That is exactly what I'm doing here, is investigating, interrogating.
No, you're interrogating. It's not investigating. No matter how much you threaten her, she is a woman of God. You're not going to get what you want out of her in this manner. This is behavior that I would expect of a fledgling. You're better than this. I know this. You know this. You're insightful, I'm sure. The gift of your blood must offer you some kind of insight into the truth here. By all means, look into my soul and see if I'm lying.
He is going to scry the soul. Remind me what the defense on that is, because I don't remember.
Oh, defense for Scry the Soul?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm cracking that open too, but I can find it real quick for you. Scry the Soul. All specs and should be a composure plus subterfuge. Congratulations. That is literally my weakest stat line.
Okay. He is going to, let's see. It's wits discipline for Scry the Soul, right?
For Scry the Soul, it is intelligence all specs versus composure subterfuge.
Okay.
I have one success. He has two. He beats me.
Each 3, yep. So, he can read your emotional state. You're frightful.
Mm-hmm.
You are afraid, but what else? What other emotion might also be there?
Fearful, but not of him. He's not the reason that I'm afraid. More importantly, in case he doesn't know, I end up knowing something that I know how he's been very busy this past few nights.
And he's aware of that now.
Mm-hmm. Dearest Primogen, you can't afford to end up being here these nights. Actually, I should pause. Is there anything else I should answer quickly if we have for Scry the Soul?
You haven't committed diablerie.
No.
Your blood resonance is phlegmatic.
Mm-hmm.
You are a vampire. Are you under the influence of blood sorcery or other magic?
No, I am not.
Then that is all he reads. But he knows that you're afraid, but not of him. Yes, I have been very busy. Of course, you're aware of that.
And your service to the domain is of unquestionable importance.
Yes, so the reason
So
that
it's-
I've come down here is a distraction from my duties.
So who's trying to keep you distracted from your duties?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because at this point, you're not committing to your duties. In fact, I would argue
Funny
that
for
your
you to be the one
enforcer-
to keep me in check in regards to that. But I digress. I have business of my domain to address this night. Shriek. And it seems that Sister Charity is involved in this conspiracy, much as I've determined your fragility tonight.
Wow.
I've also deduced the same about her. She's hiding something from me. And I would like to know what.
And yet,
Sister Charity's just kind of backed up into a bit of a corner.
And yet, I'd imagine she's not going to end up telling you anything doing this way.
No, I think I have another place that I think she would much rather not be, but you know.
Unfortunately, doing so would very much be a concern to your duties again.
Oh, this has everything to do with my duties.
True. So you are then currently investigating
A traitor.
Oh, I would be more concerned with Leo.
Leo.
My Primogen, I simply came here to try and end up performing my own independent investigation into the goings-on here within your domain. Doing my job as permitted by our dearest prince and by our honorable hound. But if you aren't in the know,
It's only a matter of time.
true. But for the sake of a petty look for a missing child who is under your care, you would sacrifice the security of the domain, the prince's domain.
Would you rather take her place? He gives you a sly smile under those glowing glasses.
He looks at Sister Charity. I'm going to... I doubt that it'll end up helping in any way, but I'd like to end up using heightened senses, and I would like to try and read Sister Charity.
That would be an insight roll.
Mm-hmm.
So wits and insight. Heightened senses would not help you in this case.
I'm pretty sure.
Hi. Can I also make that roll?
You may also make that roll individually. Yep.
One success.
I would like to read Keller.
You would like to read Keller? Okay. Wits and insight.
My only input on this is I've had the sawed-off shotgun, the sawed-off rifle, very casually below the hip, pointed at Mr. Tenebris this entire time. Not particularly being stealthy, just making sure he knows he makes a move, he's gonna regret it.
Okay. Shriek, you were wanting to read on Sister Charity, and so was
I only got
Alex.
one success. Ugh.
And Dorian was wanting to read Keller. So Dorian,
Yeah.
I'll start with you. He's upset. He's on the verge of frenzy.
Okay.
He's very much unhinged tonight. And you get the distinct sense that he is not the kind to be unhinged around. He is not the kind of person you want to be unhinged.
Mm-hmm. And
There's
knowing what I
power
know,
behind those eyes.
and knowing what I know about deals, he already made his deal, and the fact that he lost it, he's just basically lashing out.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Alex and Shriek. Sister Charity is obviously frightened. Very obviously. She is not hiding that at all. But Alex, she's shaking her head at you both very subtly, like she doesn't want you all to interfere.
Mm.
And looking at the woman that is being accused of not being Anna, but
Yep.
very much looks like Anna.
Very much looks like her. A spitting image.
Can I maybe insight her? Like, does she think she's Anna?
Wits insight. That'll be a separate roll. It's a separate target. That's 4. You're settled with 4?
Yes.
She absolutely does. She's not sure why Dr. Keller's lashing out at her.
So somebody has done something not only to her physical state, but to her mind as well. That is a combination.
Well, that's not the only potential answer. That's the worst part. But that being said,
Scene continues.
all right. Are you
uh,
going to do?
I'm gonna do it.
I was going to do
I would
something
do it.
too.
Take her place. Dr. Keller, if I might be so boastful, I don't think you could handle me. But you're willing to try. I mean, take the place of what? A upstanding member of Zamisi? One of the few upstanding members of her own clan within the domain of our prince? Or this carbon copy that you said has made a mockery of you? Or is it just the way you're making a mockery of yourself in your position at this time? Now, as I'm saying this, I'm kind of walking the floor as though, giving a speech. But the reality is I am specifically putting myself between Keller and Maytag. By all means, make that frenzy roll.
Shriek, it's as if the shadows reach out and grab you and hold you still. And Keller walks up to you almost a little too calmly. Darling Shriek, you will hang.
Serving the domain? Yeah, sure, worst ways to go.
Can I?
Put her down, Maytag. Mr. Tenebris. He just hears a right behind his skull.
Hold on.
Him.
Hold on. Before we escalate, please.
Down.
I know what position we are all in, but could we please all take a moment? Please. Primogen Keller. It is not necessary. Please.
Should I just stand by and watch this insect, flea-infested man, insult me to my face?
Sir, please think
Harder,
of your
Daddy.
position. Primogen Keller, please think of your position. At this point, if you were to harm Shriek, how would that look? It would be a loss of control from our most esteemed Primogen. I'm
Alexander,
sure.
charisma persuasion.
It's not one of my best.
Question. Can Mr. Resner chime in and assist on this?
What does Dorian say?
I know that's something he should ask himself, but Dorian's been wanting to talk for a while now, so let's give him a chance.
Yep.
Dorian would step around Maytag and start walking towards.
No,
Great.
he's blocking you.
Just-
Like, he's full on
Sorry.
hands up blocking you from entering.
Excuse me, I'd like to speak to the Primogen.
You can
I
do
don't
so
have any
from
business.
right there.
Primogen,
Please.
from what I understand, you made a deal, and then you lost your boon that you gained, and now you are taking it out on those underneath of you, in some kind of, I don't want to say a tantrum, because that doesn't befit someone of your position. Why are you worried about this when there are so much things that are more important? This seems petty and beneath you.
High or low? He's not sure whether to take that as an insult or as praise at this moment.
Frenzy check.
High or low, Dorian?
Both are great.
High clan high.
It is low.
Because I was totally insulting him.
Oh.
Oh boy.
I should have
it was
just done the
funny.
charisma roll.
It was honeycoated.
Many things happen at once.
Many things happened at once.
It was honeycoated spears, as they say, or something like that. Little sharp jabs.
Oh.
Instead of... Okay. He doesn't snap at Shriek. Instead, he takes he reaches his hand around the neck of the girl and snaps it in his hand. She crumples to the ground. Unmoving, seemingly dead.
Oh, shit.
You mean to tell me that was supposed to replace Anna?
That is not our problem. You lost what you traded for.
That was what was traded to me. She has not left my sight since the day she was given to me, and it was a trick. Somehow, someone fabricated Anna.
Primogen Keller.
Do not speak.
I was simply going to offer my services. I am a specialist in the occult. May I please examine the body?
There is no need, she is dead.
And yet, clues may be garnered from even a corpse.
Not until Charity answers my question. What did you do? Charity just looks to all of you. And then answers, what I had to protect her. You filthy slime. How do you react?
How am I allowed to react given the fact that I am being choked out by MagTech again?
You can say something. You might not be able to move, but you can say something.
Please, something other than the harder daddy.
Okay. I'm going to invoke Camarilla Law.
All right. What are you saying?
You touch her and it's a life boon. Because if he ends up near removing her, whoever's the offender, it has to end up paying back boons owed. She owes me a life boon.
Indeed, indeed.
And I will gladly trade that up for a Primogen owing me a life boon.
On what authority?
You can ask the Scourge on that one. Little Tyke will end up being the first one to tell you that I denied her kill. Her life belongs to me. Didn't I tell you I owned a nun? I'm so sorry. I try not to boast.
But you do owe me.
I gave exactly what was put on offer. Everything you've been saying is nothing more than conjecture. Or are you to tell us right now that you can't tell the difference between a kindred in your own care? That you've never stopped looking at? That has never left your sight? How would the court respond to that? What would the prince think if you couldn't tell the difference? And yes, I am implying something that only he and I know. How good does that make him?
If this was social
Actually-
combat, he'd be fucked with the room. That's like a
Actually,
-4 penalty with all the people involved here.
Primogen Keller, I do believe there have been times where I have seen you without Anna present. So there have been times where you have removed your gaze from her.
Seems like you have a shit hand, sir.
You will all answer for this. And he continues. He goes to exit the church, and Kane goes to follow with him, letting go everyone that he was blocking.
As soon as the darkness releases, Shriek, Aaron just goes and like grabs him, makes sure he doesn't completely collapse, and just gently rests him, propping him. Okay, there.
He does that to me again, and I'll be at half-mast.
All right, I'm not touching you no more.
No, he just falls on the floor. He's like, you okay? I'm at half-mast. Fucking.
You and La Sombra Shriek, I swear.
Okay. Okay, run. He runs over to the body of Anna, this character that's presumed.
Yep.
Okay, you have some questions to end up offering. You have to end up here and to the bottom of this. You have to end up here understand what's going on. He points to the nun. That's 2 you owe me.
I know.
We're going to have a heart-to-heart later on, and it's not going to be confession. You don't have that kind of time. Till then, excuse me. He scoops up the body of Anne. And he is rushing before the body gets cold. He is rushing out of here to his car. Well, I'm presuming that the keys are still left on the key seat, given the fact that Resner ended up writing out.
Well, they're in the
He's
ignition.
running-
They
if
weren't
he's-
taken out.
No, I took him with me. If he's running to the car, I'm running to get into the driver's seat.
No, you do not want. He stops. He'll stop you immediately, Mr. Resner. For the entirety of for every tradition you know, you do not want to know what's about to happen.
I trust you, Shriek. And I'll
You
hand him the
shouldn't.
keys.
He grabs the keys and goes in. And
All right.
I'm not going to get more than half a block before I park on his side, because the blood is still warm, and there is
High or
a
low?
chance. Low can land low.
What do you attempt to do?
Well, I was going to play the hand anyway, so if this isn't Anna, which, if it's dead, clearly can't be Anna, right?
Broken neck and everything.
I'm going to embrace it.
Okay. You bite into your arm. First, draining the victim. It's right on the cusp of too cold. You do it anyway. You take everything that's left in it, in the body. You bite into your arm and you force blood into this person's mouth. You wish, and you wish, and you wish. But there is no movement.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
How much blood are you willing to spill on this?
If I'm at full, then I will end up going. If I'm full up, I am going to give 3 points.
You're at 1. Because
I'm
you
at
did
1?
not kill her. Yep.
Then I will. Shriek's desperate. He's gonna give 3. It's gonna put him at a potential hunger frenzy, but
At this point, Aaron and Alex are also walking up.
Shriek's driven off a couple blocks away.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah,
he does
we're
not
still in
want
the
any
church.
of you to know this.
Alex has instead turned her attention to Sister Charity.
Still nothing. Shriek. You give as much as you think you can. Nothing. You expect her to bite into you by now.
Come on.
Nothing.
And he pulls out a stake and just drives it into this facsimile of Anna's heart. Just in case.
Meanwhile, Alex, Aaron, Dorian, Shriek is driven off.
I'm going to walk up to Sister Charity. Ah, sister, fancy meeting you here.
I live here.
Yes. Tonight was very interesting.
Indeed it was. I
I
knew it
want-
would happen. Eventually.
I want to ask what you did, but I'm not sure I should know.
If you care about Anna, you won't ask me.
I think it's more a case if I care about my own skin, I won't ask you.
Hmm. Well, we did come
So-
here for another reason.
We did. Gods, we did. And I thought that was what was going wrong at first.
What do you mean?
We're not done with our previous problem. There's a potential that they may look in your direction.
My direction. And you hear the other two who have kind of finally gotten up off the ground for having been restrained by the same kind of shadow tentacles as Shriek had been. Hold up, what?
Do you know anything about the Society of St. Nick?
No.
I would like to insight.
Okay.
While she's still on edge, while she's still shaken from that whole interaction, I definitely want to insight.
Yeah, I'll do
Aaron-
the same.
For reference, Aaron is getting his truck back in order, all of his materials in his bag back in order, making sure everything's locked up. And he's going to stand outside the church waiting for everyone, but he's still got his rifle on him.
Okay. You're both at 4.
Perhaps maybe Sister Charity just sees him do quick little instance of the Lord's Prayer as he pulls out a little cross necklace, kisses it, puts it back, just behind everyone.
Alex Dorian. She has no idea what the Society of St. Leopold even is. Dorian, this is really kind of the first time you're hearing those words, even. Which you can tell that she doesn't know, probably just about as much as you don't.
They happen to be related to Church and also to Hunter. At the very least, you should be aware that at least one of their agents has been spotted in town.
Then I should disappear.
No. Oh, maybe after this whole incident. But you're valuable because of your connection to the church.
I don't make a very good spy.
Neither do I. But you can certainly keep your eyes and ears open. The same way you always have. Sister Charity, you are an incredible kindred. You do your best with what you have. And admittedly, from a more logical perspective, you are an absolutely fantastic resource.
But that's all I am. And all I ever will be.
You have the capability to be more. I know you do. This entire domain has the capability to be more than what it is. You are just one of so many talents.
But the prince would never allow it, and you know that.
Unless he has no choice. That you
And who-
are a necessity here.
And who in the world would ever be able to put the prince in a vice? And I think that is where we are going to conclude the session for tonight, as it is late.
Okay.
Holy fuck.
You want to know what? I consider it a high honor when the known chaos gremlin is giving me flowers over to taking the rollover.
That was fucking insane.
Because as soon as the idea came into my head, I see Specs like, no. The Specs knows the idea that has just popped into my head.
Please watch the VOD. You'll
Yes,
see, like,
yes.
Derek, like,
No,
yes. And I'm like,
no.
no!
Yes, I know, because I was trying to talk during it, watching YouTube freak out and like, yes. I'm like,
No.
I'm just here like, oh my god.
I will have you know, this scenario I thought of on the toilet on break.
Oh my god.
Ideas come out then.
hey, it's where I've done some of my best reading and planning.
Oh.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, coffee. Yeah, gotta give it to me though. How good is Shriek at being able to pin the Primogen's position? Like, go ahead,
Meh.
kill her. I would love for you to owe me a life boon. Go ahead.
Oh, he does not want to owe you shit.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no.
And now she owes me two.
She owes you too. How much she's going to be able to pay you back on that? Well, we'll have to find out.
Also, I'm so sorry for cutting in there. It's just Alex takes the humanist route, and I thought that might have been what was needed there.
It was good.
God.
And CJ, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Really
Oh
did.
no, it wasn't you. Like I know you wanted to do the thing, so I'm like, all right. As soon as I get a chance, I'm going to say it. And then I kept trying to jump in, and like everybody kept talking over. I'm like, fuck,
Mm.
fuck, fuck.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
my guy.
no, it's all good.
And I didn't want to be rude and just keep talking and fight for it.
It's okay. Just that
Because you and me had the same idea.
that almost played out. Almost. That whole scenario, out of all the things that could have went down, one of two things were going to happen, and I got fucked over on a high-low.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my guy.
No, yeah, because I don't think I've ever seen such a clean-cut opportunity for to fulfill one of Shriek's promises. Because it's complete plausible deniability.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's complete plausible deniability.
I get it. I get it. Absolutely, I get it.
And you know what's
Absolutely.
hilarious? Alex has no idea what the fuck is going on, but she's just running with it because
Oh yeah.
she
The
trusts
amount,
Shrek.
the amount of time that it would have taken for you to get the
Plan
butt
that.
to scoop up the body, take her to your car, get the car started, and get driving a couple of blocks.
Well, I know that the embrace there's no specific science to it, right?
No, not at all.
That's kind of the point. If you can measure it, then it's not supernatural, right? So, and I know that historically speaking, actually another example that comes from VTR, Clan Maquette is notorious for embracing people days after they've been dead.
Yeah.
Right? But even in Masquerade, it doesn't necessarily have to be at the exact point.
Yeah.
In fact, arguably, that could be how you get Caitiff some days. Or how a Thin Blood might manifest. Like, these little things can offer up all kinds of possibilities.
Oh, it's true.
That can't be weighed or measured.
Yep.
But
supernatural can't be measured.
Yeah. So I was just like, I have never gotten such a clean shot though, because if I'm just getting rid of the body, and it just so happens to have been embraced at one point, well, oops. But it's complete plausible deniability.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yep.
Also, fascinatingly, I discovered Aaron is loyalty first kind of character.
Discovered that today?
Yeah, just today. I was running him with the implication that he was a traditions first kind of guy. Nope. He's a loyalties first kind of guy.
Yep. Well, I've got food at the door, so you guys can deliberate that for just a little bit more, and then we'll get to experience.
Yeah, he was gonna straight up just fucking blow Tenebrous' head off if he even so much as took a hair off of Shriek.
Yeah, but I had to make the reference because thus far he's done it 2. You have to do it 3, right? Rule of 3 in comedy. Because I was like, and he's choking him again. Murder, daddy.
Just him saying that as Alex is trying to de-escalate things too.
I am sorry that I made Kane and he tanked in humanity so bad that I had to make him into an NPC that like.
Don't be. It allows Coffee to be able to do scenes like this now.
He's a great story beat.
I actually love Kane.
Yeah, I missed that character. He was a good character. It's just I didn't know a way to bring him back with the animosity and the fact of like, if I lost my shit, you guys definitely can die.
That's exactly right.
The same is true with Aaron. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beautiful part of Kane shifting over to NPC mode, right? It's that he then gets to be that antagonist.
Yeah, but Aaron hasn't dropped for humanity in 4 sessions.
Nope.
Let's try and avoid that, please.
No, it is incredibly difficult, and you'll come to end up understanding it. don't worry too much about it. When it comes down to Kane, like, look, you are not the first person to have ever had to NPC a PC just because it wasn't working out. I assure you, I have done the same.
In Motor City,
too.
that happened too.
Yep.
Well, that's the terrible thing though, because I really liked Kane. He had a great story and he was really fun, but
you wanna know what? I have not managed to replay my favorite character, or one of my favorite characters, since I had to drop him off.
Is it Axel?
No, John Bell.
No.
Ah,
That's
John
right.
Bell, the whole point was to give everybody a break from Urian so that everybody could have a chance to catch up with a little bit of XP while I played a supplementary character who was supposed to turn on everybody. But he was such a glorious, like, he was the
such a glorious
magnificent bastard. He was the magnificent bastard of the...
He wasn't just supposed to turn on everybody, he did.
Oh, yeah.
he did. He
Lord,
full on
Lord.
he full on attacked Amber
And Benji.
and Benji.
Do you understand the cojones on that old man to end up doing that to him?
He ended up dead in a tunnel.
Yep, hilariously so.
Yes.
But no, don't feel.
Zulu's having flashbacks to
Wait,
the VODs.
Wait, wasn't he La Sombra as well? What is
Yes,
everyone else
he
in La
was.
Sombra?
Yes, he was.
Sombra,
Indeed
it
he
doesn't
was.
shock me. They are a clan that, you know,
Something that was
Violence
never
is in the top
discovered
5
in San
responses.
Antonio 2. Something that was never discovered in San Antonio 2 was that John Bell was the sire to Brian.
Yep. No one figured it out.
Nope.
no, that's hilarious. But
That's just like, you don't have a dad? I'll be your dad.
oh, my daddy. There we go.
But yes, let's move on to some
God.
experience because it is rather late. It is getting on 3 o'clock. So
Yeah, this was
holy
long.
shit! I
Insane
didn't realize it's
session.
almost 4 a.m. Fuck.
that scene lasted longer than I had anticipated, but you know what? It was fine.
It was so worth it.
I'll suffer through it in the morning during work. All right, so
This is going to be a hard one.
today everybody gets their 1 for showing up because I had all 4 of my cast members. Woohoo!
Yeah,
Right.
Hooray!
Yay.
Do I have one of my mods to set up the poll? Yes. Then, yes, thank you so much. So, the next topics of experience are decided amongst my cast members as to who moved our plot, who had the best scene, and who had our best line. And then, of course, our lovely poll for the audience so that you can participate and spend your channel points is for you to decide who your favorite was out there in the audience land. So, get to voting, all 27 members of you, and we will decide the twisted fates of our kindred this night. So, who moved plot?
I'm gonna be greedy this session. I'm just letting you guys
Yeah.
know that. I'm gonna be greedy this session.
Is that unanimous?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got to give it to Shriek.
Shriek it is. All right. Unanimous steal. Best scene.
That final scene between all of us was just fucking insane, but I
Yeah.
will give it to Shriek for leading it.
Yeah.
I'll stop
I
him
mean-
with a Bible thump.
Shriek trying to get himself killed.
Yeah. The basically.
Yeah.
Final death by Primogen.
Yep.
Shriek's motto tonight: if I do it, I get a whooping, and I do it.
I'm getting whooping.
Best
And for
line.
the light of the light, while I will have some contention on it, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to play greedy tonight. It's the whole bit of, what am I supposed to do? Not care? Yes!
Yeah. That was
Yes, exactly
such a good
that.
line.
There's some others, though, that are in contention for that. But that's the one I would throw out there because it's just... I saw everybody break the moment I said that.
I don't know. I was going to throw my contention in with my little fucking the little zinger I was trying to piss off the Primogen with, but I think
Oh, you were
Shriek might have just.
trying to. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, it was like honey-coated barbs that I was slinging, like veiled.
Oh.
They were.
They weren't veiled. He was fully aware that you were intentionally trying
I
to get him
didn't hide
frenzy.
it. I didn't try particularly hard to hide it. I just
I'm not
did.
that subtle.
Yeah.
No, he's fully aware that you all have
Oh.
contempt for him. And tonight just proves it. He is fully
Oh,
aware
yeah.
of your full contempt.
Great,
Oh,
he
yeah.
can
Alex
just add us
trying
to
to-
his long list of fucking adversaries.
On a
Alex
200-year-old
doesn't have
man.
contempt for him. She just wants to see him hang himself.
When a 200-year-old man baby decides to throw a tantrum because he didn't get his way, I mean, shit.
I mean, that's literally kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Boone wasn't broken, he got Anna. It just wasn't, he didn't specify which Anna.
You know.
I do know.
You know what
Because
happened
in the
here.
end, I'm still the shit starter.
He was your...
Look, I am just trying to keep up with your gremlin energy, okay? The fact that I had a moment where I could say, yeah, we can actually see Derek go full gremlin right here. There we go. There's
There
my
we go.
Spence moment.
Let's go.
Oh my god.
Chaos Gremlin moment. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Fun
Love
part
it.
is,
But,
now you all get to play a guessing game to figure out who that human was.
Dead is who that human
Yeah,
was, but
let's see, best line.
Yes.
I can't even remember most of it because that entire scene, like last scene, just wiped my memory.
Of everything else that
I-
happened prior.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we got to give it to Shriek just because of the number of lines.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That Shriek just clean sweeped it tonight.
Yeah.
The queen.
Okay. Clean sweep.
Is it a
Well-
queen?
Yeah, Queen Sweep. It's fine.
Well,
Okay.
it looks like Shriek is also the audience favorite for tonight too, so it might be a full sweep.
Look,
Congrats.
if it wasn't the yes, then it would have been the entire scene where Shriek was roasting the shit out of Alex. Like,
Yep. There you go. Shriek, you have full
Oh,
swept
wow.
all of the experience up for tonight.
You pulled off the hat trick.
Thank you. Thank you. Dreams do come true. This is not happening again for the rest of the Chronicle, I assure you.
That being
Oh.
said, it is entirely too late for me to be awake. And so it is
Go
time
raid
for
out,
us
man.
to say goodnight and find a lovely person to raid. And I love all of you in my cast, and I love all of you out there in the audience. So, like, follow, subscribe, comment, do all the things. You know who you are. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
The Anna you seek is in another castle.
good night.